Today on DNVR Buffs Live, when will Coach Prime in Colorado have an extension in place? We dive into that and much, much more. Let's do it.
Buff Nation.
Let's go.
Squad. Welcome into Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota Stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. DNVR Buffs Live. Today we're asking the big questions, boys.
The tough ones. Big J journalism.
Exactly. Everyone is dying to know when Coach Prime will sign his extension with Colorado. There's been a couple things to come out recently. One, Joe Klatt talked about Coach having a very, very, very good offer in front of him.
3 berries?
Was it 3 berries?
I thought it was 2 berries.
Oh, was it 2?
I don't know.
Did you say it was 4?
I thought it was 4. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go do some research. Y'all talk about it. I'm fine.
Get the berry. Let's make sure we have the berry count right.
We have to make sure. And then on Good Morning America, of course, he gets asked about, would you entertain coaching in the NFL, blah, blah. And he says, the only way I would do it is if I was able to coach my sons.
Sons,
yes.
Now, he also, I can't remember if it was on that or maybe it was on $1 Million Worth of Game. He also said, but also, I'm not following my sons. So, basically, there's 2 ways this happens, in my opinion. You would have to hire Coach Prime right now.
Yes.
And guarantee him that, we're trading for the number 1 and number 2 picks. We're going to take Shedeur and Shilo.
Right.
Or it happens 4 years or 5 years down the road when those 2 guys can choose where they want to play.
Exactly. And so, also, let's make it clear. And the GMA thing, he talked about, again, about his love for Colorado, how he plans on being there and all this stuff too. But Scott and I were talking about this upstairs. So if you look at the NFL draft order right now, Shedeur's going high, right? Potentially first overall.
Yes.
The Titans retain their coach. Cleveland retained their coach. The New York Giants retained their coach. The next opening is number 4, the New England Patriots, who just drafted Drake May. They're not drafting Shedeur.
Yep.
Jacksonville does not have a head coach. That is the one.
Okay.
So in order for this to happen, basically someone like Jacksonville, because like you said, you would have to hire a coach right now. If you want to do it for this year or for this 2025
Because again,
season.
he said, I don't follow my sons.
Yes. So they would have to hire him right now, or they hire another coach and the GM basically has it in their mind all right, the plan is to draft Shedeur, and then the next year, the year after, we're going to fire this coach and draft Deion Sanders, which is crazy.
But again, Coach Prime made it clear he's not following them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which means he's got to be somewhere first,
Right.
Yes.
and then bring them.
Yes.
So we'll see.
It was 3 berries on the very good offer in front of Coach Prime.
Okay. You won the berry pool.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Anyways, I think of course Coach Prime is going to say that. And if he got that opportunity, nobody would blame him
Right.
for trying, for pursuing that. I think the most likely scenario for that to happen would be when those guys are going to enter free agency.
Yes.
And heck, you could imagine a world where it's Coach Prime gets the whole family reunited.
Mm-hmm.
Not just Shedeur and Shilo, but Travis.
Right.
Cam Silman-Craig.
Right.
Jimmy Horn. I mean, the whole thing. And honestly, that would be electric. But it's not. This is not happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so that gets us to the three varies. Now, I have a couple thoughts on this. We got to it a little bit yesterday. First of all, one man's, and this is not to insinuate that I know even what the offer is. What Joel Klatt might think is a very, very, very good offer could be very, 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 very different from what Coach Prime thinks is a very, very, very good offer.
100%.
Yes.
Now, I think that we all have a pretty good understanding of what a very, very, very good offer looks like in 2025 in college football. Mm-hmm. And so we could probably venture a guess as to what that offer is and what it might be. But as I said yesterday, I think this is the most important part. These are contract negotiations.
Right.
And negotiations of a contract that is dozens of pages long can get really, really detailed. Mm-hmm. And when you're Coach Prime and you have as much leverage and as much reverence and as much respect as you have, you can get real specific about line item number 478 on your contract. Whether that is, I want the promise of a facility upgrade in the next 3 years, whether that is literally, I want to make sure that I have a membership at Boulder Country Club. Mm-hmm. Whatever it is, when you go through, you negotiate each point that is important to you. And so you could be completely past the money part of the offer, the very, very good offer, which is, let's just say, $11 million a year. You could be completely past that and still have several things that you want to negotiate and make sure that you have right. Because when you're Deion Sanders and you are in the position that you're in, you get to make sure that this contract checks off the boxes that are important to you.
And it should, because if he's not arguably one of the best coaches in college football, he's certainly one of the most influential, one of the most powerful, the word he used, one of the most revered, and that leads to dollar signs. And that's what Coach Prime has brought to Boulder, Colorado. Not only just the university, but the city of Boulder, the state of Colorado. And he has to be compensated as somebody who's done what he's done over the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. Do y'all know where Coach Prime ranked in terms of highest paid coaches in the Big 12 this past season? Fourth.
Okay.
Fourth. Lance Leipold, the Kansas head coach, made more in annual salary than Coach Prime did this year.
He got extended not too long ago, though, right?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
The way you just said salary was the most Chicago thing I've ever heard. So.
That just sounded normal to me. I didn't notice it. But that's why I bring up, again, Coach Prime was the fourth highest paid coach in the Big 12 this year. And I feel like he's probably looking to pick up some of them back ends, that he probably should have gotten, over, the last couple of years. It's probably going to have to be more than maybe Rick George is willing to pay. But that's the cost of doing business with somebody like Coach Prime, who has absolutely, transformed this football program from where it was 2 years ago at 11-1, on the verge of 10 wins this year. You got to get him whatever that man wants.
Yeah.
Especially when he's not, at least in 2025, no longer going to be coaching his sons. Mm-hmm. We know how much that means to him. And you have to compensate him, I believe, for him no longer being able to do that. You got to make it really worth his while to stay in Boulder, Colorado. Although he probably wants to. We all believe him that he loves Boulder and Colorado. But you got to make it worth his while a little bit more to stay here in 2025 and beyond, especially when there's these other forces pulling him elsewhere, whether that be NFL franchises, whether that be his sons. You gotta up that bread for Coach Prime for sure. I think it will. I think they will.
Lance Leipold did sign an extension just in February. That came with a raise. So.
Right, and that's how this all works, right?
Yes.
The next one is the biggest one.
Yes.
And I think the ultimate thing for Coach Prime is that it's hard to put a price on his actual value.
It's impossible to.
Can't.
And so, I think that Coach Prime is going to make sure that his contract reflects his value. But also, there's no matter what it is, it's worth it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is another conversation, but did you see the whole thing about Notre Dame's payouts that they're getting from this college
Yeah,
football
it's
playoff.
ridiculous.
Like, it makes you wonder if Colorado should have gone independent when they got Coach Prime.
Yeah, for real.
Because
Low-key,
you
man.
get your own TV contract, which obviously would have gone on and been huge. You get all the money for all this other stuff, but regardless of that, the value of Coach Prime goes beyond him as a football coach.
Yeah.
And spans all the way into, I would say, the businesses of Boulder, but it goes even further than that because we're sitting in a business in Denver right now that has been impacted by Coach Prime. So it benefits the whole state for Coach Prime to be the head coach of Colorado, and it's not necessarily Rick George's job to make sure that he's worried about the benefits of the rest of the state. What he's focused on is the University of Colorado Athletics Department, and that is. But the point is, it's going to get done because both parties want it to get done.
Yes.
And both parties are going to win when it gets done.
Right. You can look at the Kurt Signetti contract extension that came through in November. That was an 8-year extension. He got an immediate bump up to $8 million a year, which would have put him damn near the top of the Big 12. Who's the highest paid coach in the Big 12?
Mike Gundy, as
what I
of this
thought.
past season, $7.7 million a year, followed by Leipold and Kyle Whittingham and Coach Prime.
So there's like a framework, I guess, of a potential deal. Like I'd imagine Colorado's interested in keeping Coach Prime as long as Indiana's wants to keep Kurt Signetti, you know?
What was the price again?
Which one?
The Signetti deal?
That was $8 million a year with an annual $1 million retention bonus, putting the total value of the new contract at $72 million.
Coach Prime was at 5.7 annually this past year, and obviously a little bit more due to
Escalators.
incentives and whatnot.
And the last time that Coach Prime signed a contract, they asked Rick George, where'd you get the money? He said, we're going to figure that out.
Yep.
Guess what? They did.
They figured it
Facts.
out. And that's probably going to be a similar like structure, I'd imagine, for this extension, right?
Totally.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of people kind of concerned about this right now because of what happened on GMA and just the fact that it's not happened yet.
And I feel like a lot of people are taking issue with the fact that Coach Prime is kind of playing with his words a little bit and saying, like, I'd consider the NFL if so-and-so happens. And to your point, bro, that's part of negotiations.
Yes.
If you come out there on national TV and be like, I'm going to be in Boulder, Colorado regardless. Whatever they want to pay me, I'm going to be here.
I do it for free.
That's not smart business, tactics and whatnot. And Coach Prime is very savvy when it comes to business deals and how to negotiate. He's been doing this for a very, very, very long time. He's true to this, absolutely not new to this. So again, that's just part of the game. You gotta play the game.
And he's also a marketing genius and
Yes.
a master of the news cycle.
Yes.
He never does something accidentally.
Facts.
He knows what he's doing.
Yep.
He does. Plus, I don't think all these transfers would be coming here. I don't think Julian Lewis would be coming here. I don't think this IMG pipeline would be the way it is. And I think a lot more players would have entered the portal from Colorado if there was any chance of Coach Prime leaving this offseason.
Facts.
So just relax. Also, Jace has a good point, too. Maybe he's just trying to get Shedeur and Shilo on the same team.
I mean, Shedeur can do that too.
For sure.
Yes.
Whoever picks him, that's their franchise guy.
Yep. 100%. When do you think it happens?
I don't know. And here's the other thing. Coach Prime never rushes this stuff. He doesn't
Yeah.
rush hires, so they're going to take their time. He's going to take his time to figure this out. And there's no rush other than it'll make people calm down.
Right.
That's the only ticking thing right now. Coach Prime's still under contract.
Yeah.
It's not like his contract's going to expire
Yes.
anytime soon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're going to get it figured out, and I'll say that it happens before spring football. I don't think that there's any reason to put an earlier timestamp on it than that.
Yeah.
I remember when Zane DeSouza went on his visit, his official visit to Colorado, and he straight up asked Coach Prime, like, are you going to be here? And he basically told him, like, it's easier for you to leave than it is for me right now. Like,
yeah.
I don't
More
plan
like,
on leaving.
Are you going to be here?
Exactly. So
Somebody just made a good comment too. Did y'all see Coach Prime yesterday just tweet the revenue and the viewership from the Alamo Bowl?
Yeah.
Just that graphic.
Yep.
Just throwing little subtle hints out there. They're like, hey, yeah, I brought all of my eyes to Boulder, Colorado. Me and my family and my team for sure. And I just feel like, yeah, he's playing that game. Man, it's smart. He knows what he's doing. Just be patient.
He does. And also, did you see in the Prime doc on signing day, and obviously this was a year ago at this point, but he gives Rick George a big hug and says, I love you.
yep.
Like, this is going to get done.
Hell yeah.
And honestly, when I say before spring football, that's just because there's like a deadline there. It could literally happen while we're on this show.
Right. For sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's take our first break. And shout out our friends over at LiveWell. 25 convenient Colorado locations. They are literally everywhere out here. Shout out to the LiveWell in Cortez, Colorado, by the way. But they've got great staff, man. Honestly, anytime you stop in there, they're always super knowledgeable. They're always willing to help you find exactly what you want / need, whether it's flour, edibles, concentrates, and much, much more. They have a great selection there at LiveWell, so go check them out. And when you're in store, make sure you mention the code DNVR25, and you'll receive 25% off one regular priced item. You can also put your order in online at livewell.com. Super quick and easy. And you can even mention the code DNVR25 then as well to receive the discount. Again, mention code DNVR25 in stores and receive 25% off one regular priced item. Some restrictions apply. Shout out my friends at LiveWell.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Kerr's Lot.
Kerr's Lot.
It's Friday.
Thank God. Let's
Finally,
go.
man. Jeez. That means it's time to chill.
It means it's time for playoff football.
It means it's time for double playoff football.
Yeah.
College football playoffs tonight, NFL playoffs each of the next 3 days. I forgot about the Monday Night Football playoff game until someone mentioned it. When all is said and done, that is 5 consecutive days of playoff football in our lives.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. But you can't do it without Kerr's Lot. You got to have those on deck. If you see this bucket that we have here on the set, like, you should have one of those or something like it in your house. And just load that up so you never have to leave the couch.
Yep.
Or come here to the DNVR bar and you'll never have to leave your seat. Our wonderful bartenders and wait staff will take care of you here when you order a Kerr's Light. And you can also have it delivered straight to your door when you go to KerrsLight.com/DNVR, and you can use Instacart to have that sent straight to you. Spend this playoff weekend the right way.
Sunday's going to be a legendary day here, by the way.
Other than, first ever Broncos playoff game at the DNVR bar is going to go crazy.
Wow.
It's going to be unbelievable.
I hadn't thought about it like that.
Yeah.
First ever one here. Wow.
Yeah.
We try to tell you, Scotty.
I remember what's crazy is the first Avs and first Nuggets playoff games ever at the DNVR bar were both during COVID. So social distanced playoff watch parties didn't quite hit.
What is the DNVR bar's record in first playoff games for Denver franchises?
Oh, God. I'm very confident that the Avs won theirs.
Okay.
I can't say I remember the first Nuggets playoff game because it was the bubble. So first round against the bubble was against the Jazz. I'm pretty sure they lost that. Anyways, we got that. I mean, this is going to be one of the biggest football moments in DNVR bar history.
I cannot wait.
No doubt.
The next one, honestly, I think would be TCU. Like, the videos that came out of that TCU game from here are legendary.
I still watch that video from time to time.
Yeah,
by the
bro,
way.
it's unbelievable.
It's
It's just one of
incredible.
those like chaotic videos, like that one from like the street corner in Florida. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where the guy's like driving the mini car, and there's like a car, and like every time the camera turns,
Yeah, I do know what you're talking
something.
about. Yes.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that, except for it's the DNVR version where like people are going crazy, like a beer spills, like people
Derek
are looking.
White
Then
just
all of a
shows
sudden
up.
it pans over. Derek White's in the frame.
I'm dead.
Just that whole moment of like when Chandler Morris drops back to throw the bar and like before the play, everyone's like cheering their asses off like so loud. The play starts
Silent.
dead, and then you can like tell when the ball is caught. And then Slush makes the tackle, and it's just an explosion. Epic. Cannot wait. All right, we did have some breaking news today. He's back.
Let's go.
He's back.
Preston Hodge is officially returning for the 2025 season. This is massive news because he is one of the best players on their defense. And he didn't really get, he didn't get a fair shake. I guess fair is weird to say, but it was just a weird injury that happened on like a late play, late in the season that really ended his time or his 2024 season. So this is super exciting stuff. This is great news. And with some of the youth coming into the secondary too, having a guy like Preston Hodge, this is massive.
Yeah, so excited about this. I actually ran into Preston a couple weeks ago, and I was like a kid in a candy store. I was like, wait, does this really mean you can come back? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh my god, let's fucking go.
Hell yeah.
But obviously wanted to let him, announce that on his own time. It's so cool. It's so cool that he gets to come back because now you have a secondary, especially at the cornerback position, that you can be incredibly confident in.
Yes.
You already know what DJ McKinney brings. We put him as a top 10 player.
Yeah.
I had, we all had Colton as an honorable mention top 10 player because when he was out there, he made plays. And Preston the same way because, without his injury, he probably would have been
no doubt
in the top 10. So this is big time, man. Losing Travis Hunter is not going to be easy to overcome, but just if you close your eyes and live in a world where Travis Hunter wasn't here, and you just said like these are your three corners, you're saying that is a stacked group.
It's still probably the best in the Big 12.
It has a very good chance to be the best in the Big 12, and so yes, Travis Hunter in the way that he played is irreplicable, but
I like that word.
Thank you. But this group is very, very talented, and there's some other guys coming in too that are going to be able to, have a crack at getting into the rotation as well.
Yep.
Yeah, this is massive. One, obviously, because he's super talented, and we saw what he's able to do, what he's capable of doing in the Big 12 after coming up from Liberty. But it's also important because of the position he plays, and you talked about it a little bit yesterday. But that slot corner position, more times than not, you're arguably going up against the opponent's best route runner. Those guys are typically playing in the slot. When you're playing slot corner, you got to be able to cover, you got to be able to run, you got to be able to tackle, you got to be able to take on blocks because you're playing closer to the box. And Preston Hodge did that at a very high level at various different points in 2024 for Colorado, and that's just huge. Again, you're talking about that secondary. I tweeted a couple weeks ago before we officially knew Preston was coming back, but you got Colton and DJ at the perimeter corners, Preston at the slot nickel corner, Tawfiq Byard, Carter Stoudemire potentially at the two safety spots. You still got Isaiah Harge in the mix, Makari Vickers, the Oklahoma transfer, Savion Riley, who we saw at certain points, RJ Johnson, and obviously the incoming freshman as well, Antonio Branch. Like, this secondary is really nice. And obviously as well, we always got to mention it, they're being coached by Deion Sanders and Robert Livingston. Like, this is, I agree. Mathis. And Kevin Mathis, thank you. This is potentially, again, going to be one of the best, arguably the best secondaries in the Big 12, and we'll see. I'm excited to see these guys continue to grow because Colton Hood still has a lot of room to grow. DJ McKinney for sure, and I'm excited to see Tawfiq Byard in particular at that safety spot. This secondary is nice, man.
Yeah, having the leadership aspect, I think of Preston is huge. That experience he brings. This is what his fourth or fifth season. Of course, benefiting from the Diego Pavia ruling, so he played I think 2 years before he joined Liberty 2 years ago. So this guy is he's seasoned. You saw what he was capable of this year, and as Reef said, he had one of the plays of the year, perhaps the biggest play of the year.
No cap.
With that interception in the UCF game that basically wiped the slate clean of what happened the drive before from Colorado. So the leadership aspect is massive, but also just from an overall talent perspective, this is what Coach Prime does, though, right? He builds good secondaries. He's always done it every year that he's been a college football head coach. And he's going to keep on doing it as long as he's coaching in college football. And you're going to get these kind of moves where guys like Preston Hodge are going to be like, yeah, I'll definitely come back one more year to play for Deion Coach Prime Sanders. Yeah. And he's going to be an NFL guy. I think that was a factor in this as well because the injury really just halted a lot of momentum for him.
Yeah, it did.
So I'm super happy for Preston, man.
finna be
Super Happy for the
reunited
team.
with his boy too.
Yep.
Caden Salter,
Yep.
former
Oh, yeah.
Liberty Flames.
I was watching Liberty film last night, and
Yeah.
and it was 23, and I was like, oh, that's Preston. Like, I
yeah.
completely forgot.
That's so dope.
That's
and also
awesome.
too, I think it's so valuable just returning as many guys as you can who played with Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders and Cameron Suman-Craig. So
Yeah.
they know what to expect. They know how to get the younger guys, pulled along. And again, as many of you guys as you can return who have been around those future NFL stars, the better is going to be for this team moving forward.
In the Prime Doc, Coach Prime had such a bar, and I might butcher it a little bit, but you guys will get the main point of it. He said, "There is no success without a successor,"
Yeah.
Yep.
and that's what these guys are when it comes to the successors of Shedeur Sanders, of Travis Hunter, of Shilo, of Cam. These guys are next in line to be the stars of the defense or the stars of the offense when it goes to that side of the football. And I think you're so right. Robert Livingston talked about it a lot when he said it's such a great thing for a football team when your best player is your hardest worker.
Yes.
Yep.
And so if you have any dreams, any aspirations of going to the next level, how could you say, well, I can work a little less hard than Travis Hunter did?
Right.
Because Travis Hunter is the most incredible athlete you've ever seen in your life.
Literally.
And you cannot let him outwork you if your dream is to get where he's going. And so all of these guys have seen the blueprint for what it takes to be great. And that's a special thing.
God bless you.
Thank you. Also, with this, I think it's going to be tough to say the secondary will be better next year because you're losing Travis, right? And Cam and Shilo. But I think this defense has a chance overall to be better because you look at what they've added in the trenches.
Yeah.
Not just the transfers, but the recruits. I mean, yesterday we were talking about London Merritt and how we think he can make an instant impact. Alex McPherson, Christian Hudson. Like, I definitely think that they're going to be better in the trenches on defense. And as we all know, I mean, the secondary and the pass rush work hand in hand.
Yes.
If Colorado's able, after already leading the Big 12 in sacks, able to generate more pressure and just put the clamps on a lot of these mobile quarterbacks more, I think you could see a lot of, I'm not going to say better, but very impactful plays from this secondary because of what they're going to be playing with in front of them this next season.
Definitely.
Completely agree. I asked Jake this before the show, RK. If Preston was a transfer coming in this cycle, would he be arguably the best transfer that they brought in since the season ended?
I mean, he would definitely be up there.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. And I think that people saw Preston get beat on like a couple of different occasions.
Quite literally a couple.
Yes. And like, most people understand how good he is, but there are people who saw him get beat a couple times, including the one against Kansas State.
Right.
And use that as like a way to say that he's not all that. That position is so difficult.
Yes.
In fact, Travis Hunter got beat deep once this year.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, Preston got beat deep twice. And the other one was that insane catch by the Baylor slot receiver who is
Oh, yeah. Hell of a throw,
Yeah,
too.
incredible
Boy
throw.
Sawyer.
Diving one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Preston is lockdown at that position, especially at the college level. It's pretty rare to see someone who defends their position as well as he does. And he's only going to get a year stronger, a year smarter.
Definitely.
A year more coaching with these guys. So this is a huge one.
He get an L on his jersey next season?
I could see it.
I can see that, too.
Damn, that's a good segment. Put that in the back pocket.
Facts.
Predict the leaders.
Leaders and dogs for
Yeah.
2025?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, I got you. Let's take our next break. And shout out our friends over at Bet365. We're about to talk some CFP. If you're going to be betting on the CFP or the NFL playoffs, there's no better place to do it than our friends over at Bet365. And right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5. Just sign up, use the code DNVR365, deposit $10. and then place a bet of $5 or more, and then you'll get $150 in bonus bets right into your account as soon as that $5 bet clears. Great game last night. We'll get into it, but Vegas kind of right on the mark, man. Notre Dame -1, and this game literally came down to a last-minute field goal.
Yeah, that's usually how they do it.
Broncos are big on the money line. What is it, like plus 380 or something right now?
I think that is about right, yep.
So head on over to Bet365 and cash in on all those lines. You must be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Do you know what you're doing here?
No. I do want to remind you guys that you can check us out.
Thank you.
On all sorts of different awesome streaming platforms now.
We're on TV.
Yeah, exactly. We are on TV now. So if you have, a smart TV, you can check out and see if you can get access to the DNVR channel just by searching DNVR. It's kind of cool because, obviously a YouTube show ends and then you get sent into like the suggestions.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you want to just stay on DNVR all day, you have that opportunity. So Samsung TV, all the big ones, Roku, check it out. See and get yourself in on the DNVR channel.
Yes, sir. All right. We will talk CFP and the Cotton Bowl tonight. But shout out to Scotty for bringing this up because we talked about the NFL draft earlier in the week, right? And we were talking about Cleveland potentially being a spot for either of them, but for Shedeur Sanders. And Deshaun Watson just re-injured his Achilles, and he is probably not going to make the start of the season now, the 2025 season.
No shot.
Does that change anything? Do you think Shedeur... I mean, I think the fit with Stefanski is great.
It is.
It's just the franchise and like the stink that kind of hangs over that franchise, just the perennial loser type stuff that I have hesitation about. But does that change anything for you guys?
No. Until the Browns can figure out a way to fix this, it doesn't change much for me. And, again... Coach Prime is going to be making sure that Shedeur lands in a good situation. That's not a good situation. It's just not. So I have a hard time seeing it.
I just think about how we, as a football world, thought about the Houston Texans franchise a couple years ago.
That's fair, too.
They make some moves. They draft C.J. Stroud. They make some moves to draft Will Anderson a couple picks later. They immediately are one of the best franchises in the AFC that is full of really good ones. I'm talking about last year.
Okay.
I mean, that was a really good team last year. I
was going to say, because I've always kind of just thought of the Texans as a team that makes the playoffs and loses on Saturday of wild card.
I mean, they literally have their own
very well
slot.
might do it tomorrow.
They just call that the Texans slot.
But again, I'm just saying, like, universally, the Texans were thought of as a bottom four franchise as early as 2 years ago. They bring in a quarterback. They bring in the right coach, obviously, is a big part of it, too. And they're looked at completely different now. They're in the playoffs, back-to-back years. And again, I just feel like Shedeur is that type of quarterback where even if it's a situation that has been looked at how the Browns have been looked at, and I have to say since the Baker Mayfield years, because again, they had some couple good seasons with Baker Mayfield, including a playoff win. But I just think Shedeur is the type of quarterback that can, turn around a franchise. He's literally done it in 2 different college football programs. And again, I think there's already an important piece in there, which is Kevin Stefanski. And I think that would be a really good marriage, but we'll see.
I mean, Washington just did it too.
Thanks, bro. 100%.
Perennial losers. I mean, they
100%.
did have an ownership change in I think that Cleveland might need some of that type of action to get the franchise back on track. But
again, they did it. Right coach, right quarterback, you could compete.
I mean, the Broncos are a much more respected franchise on the whole, but in terms of the recent success, they just did it too.
Sure.
It's not that I don't think Shedeur can win in Cleveland.
I hear you.
It's that of the situations that you can land in, the one where they have a quarterback under a massive contract that they can't get out from under is not helpful.
I agree.
But the same thing happened with the Broncos.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah.
Literally. And Bo Nix was, and Sean Payton and obviously the rest of the team were able to kind of rescue us from that. But I don't know. As for the fit with Stefanski, Are you envisioning Shedeur taking a large percentage of snaps from under center?
I think he's gonna have to.
All right.
You said, can I envision him doing
I
that?
said, are you envisioning when you were telling me that that's a great fit?
I trust Kevin Stefanski. I feel like he can mold things around like good coordinators and play callers do. Mold things around and kind of fit Shedeur's play style. I think that would still be a part of it. He'll be more under center a bit than he was in Colorado for sure, but it won't be his full thing.
No, but I mean, like Brady went like primarily shotgun in his later years too. Like you can still, I think, primarily work out of the shotgun. It's just you're not going to do it every snap like you did the last 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's not that I don't think you can do it. I can't see it in my head.
No, I feel you on that.
I mean, like Joe Burrow doesn't really go under center.
Yep. And I mean,
There's the Brian Callahan.
exactly. So we'll see.
Peyton Manning never went under center. There's actually a funny story about that when the marriage between Peyton Manning and Gary Kubiak happened.
Yep.
Gary Kubiak, obviously, Shanahan tree.
Yep.
Just like Stefanski, wants to get under center and run stretch. And Peyton was like, no, not doing it. And Gary Kubiak was like, all right, can we at least compromise on pistol? And that's where they kind of met in the middle and ran out of the pistol.
Onto the CFP. Last night was a hell of a football game.
First half, I was worried.
It was a slow burner. It was a slow burner for sure.
It was.
But all of a sudden, I look up and there's 4 minutes left, and we're tied at 24-24, and it's like, this is what it's all about.
Facts. Can't really ask for a better. I mean,
Seriously.
game ending on a field goal at the gun, pretty much. Yeah, it's
Maybe I'm just salty because I didn't want Notre Dame to win, but like
and
it
we
was
all
kind
got
of
it
a
wrong. It
sloppy
sucks.
ending. Like
I mean, yes, it was.
it gave the feeling of me of like which team wants to lose more.
Yes, bro. Both quarterbacks were just trying to get a game away, bro. All
Yeah.
4 of those interceptions thrown between those 2 quarterbacks
Yes.
were all egregious.
Or just the sack that Riley Leonard takes to go out of field goal. Right?
Yes.
I mean, I was just like, what is going on here? And then Aller, you can go back now. Because everyone was saying, how is this guy not coming out?
Yeah.
He's got to come out.
That's why.
There was legitimately people out there, living, walking humans,
Yeah.
who said that they would take him over Shedeur or Cam Ward.
Yes.
We know what that's about, though.
Yeah, exactly. That just makes you tilt your head.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can go back now. Actually, you should probably enter the portal.
James Franklin's now like 1-15 against like was it AP top 10 opponents or something like that?
Yo, God, I wish. Is Marcus Freeman? Did he play at Notre Dame?
I think he played at Ohio State.
Okay, all right. I want to get Marcus Freeman out of Notre Dame as soon as possible,
Why?
so I can cheer for him because he's so dope. But I just hate Notre Dame. It's such a catch-22 for me.
Bro, I saw a tweet today. It was like, maybe I didn't hate Notre Dame all these years. Maybe I just hated Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he might be onto something.
That's the
Maybe
thing,
that's it. 'Cause
man.
Marcus Freeman cool as
It's
hell.
so hard to hate them when he's there, when he's like the face of the program.
For real.
Penn State lost the game, but Brian Kelly was the biggest loser last night.
Yes.
All right, well, sorry, Jake, but Ohio State eventually is going to have to fire Ryan Day, and they can steal away Marcus Freeman.
No,
because he did
no,
play
no,
there.
no, we don't need extend Ryan Day. Extend him.
That quote resurfaced last night of Brian Kelly. I think when he took over at LSU was like,
Yeah,
I want to be
that's
at
what
a
I'm talking
place that
about.
has the assets to go win a national championship. And now Notre Dame's about
Do you
to
know
be
how
in the national
delusional we have to say that about Notre
Dur-
Dame?
The only Brian Kelly quote I remember from when he was hired was, "My family."
I just keep thinking about the 360 photo shoot with that record.
Yeah.
That's classic.
But yeah, hats off to Marcus Freeman. Becomes the first black head coach to play for a national title.
Really, really cool.
Coach Prime gave
And
his congrats last night on
Doing
Twitter
it
as well.
on Martin Luther King Jr. Day in Atlanta.
That's tough.
Really cool.
And yes, I will take a Notre Dame national title over Ohio State. So 100% rooting.
Them boys
for
got to
them.
win.
Honestly, I hate
first.
Texas too. I hate all these teams.
Yeah. I'm rooting for Ohio State. Sorry, bro.
That's crazy. Tonight, though, we do have Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl, taking on Texas. The line is 6.5. Actually, I think it's moving down a bit depending on where you look. I've seen 5. I've seen 6. Who you got and why?
I can't believe that this was actually a debate right here on this set right after the Broncos show ended, about who you would rather have at quarterback, Will Howard or Quinn Ewers in this game. To me, it's so obviously Will Howard, but it was a heated debate. And to me, it's just about how he's playing right now. I don't care about how he looked against Michigan, or I don't care about how he looked against, who did he almost lose to? Nebraska. I care about how he looked the last 2 weeks.
Bro, he looked really good in those 2 overtimes, bro, the last time we saw him on the field. Quinn Ewers.
How many points did they have going into overtime against Arizona State?
20? Because I think they ended up with 34.
I think it was 24-24.
Yeah.
Okay.
24.
Yeah. Will Howard is probably playing the best football of his life right now at the perfect time. And so I'm taking Ohio State, and I think they might actually roll.
I got Texas. I think Quinn Ewers is better than Will Howard. That's obviously not the whole thing, but and a lot of Will Howard looking really good is the fact that Jeremiah Smith is an absolute demon.
He's playing.
Right. He's an absolute demon. But I also will say that this Texas defense is legit, both up front and their front seven, and that secondary as well. The Thorpe Award winner, although we don't put too much stock into that award anymore, Jahdae Barron, who won it.
Bring him to Denver, though.
A hell of a cornerback. And I feel like he can give, whether that be Jeremiah Smith, Emeka, what's bro name?
Emeka Egbuka.
Thank you. One of those boys, he gonna give them some work, some issues. And I just think Texas defense is going to be the difference tonight. And Quinn Ewers is going to make enough plays with his arm for Texas to get a dub.
I'm taking Texas to cover. I think they actually match up with Ohio State really well. I like their secondary against these wide receivers. I think they have the guys in the trenches to match up with Ohio State's really good offensive line.
Yeah.
It all comes down to Quinn Ewers for me. Can Texas run the ball on Ohio State? Because if you can do that and take some pressure off of Quinn Ewers, like they have been in previous games, then definitely I think they have a chance to win. I do think this will be a close game, though. I think Will Howard will fall back down to earth a little bit at some point. I don't know if he can sustain this for a 4-game run, but this is going to be a really good game. I'm excited.
I don't know how Will Howard has just earned everybody's just trust that he's like a legitimately good cornerback.
He's on a heater.
I don't know when that happened.
He's on a heater.
We'll see.
I gotta say, every time I've turned on a playoff game, I just get sad that Shedeur Sanders isn't our quarterback anymore, because I'm just like, wow, he's so much better than all of these guys.
Facts.
I mean, Quinn Ewers. We're talking about Quinn Ewers and Will Howard.
After watching Drew Allar and
Riley
Leonard last night.
So
and people don't understand this because they want to knock on Shedeur that he never won any like big bowl games in college, and it's like, he didn't go to these schools. He could have.
Right.
He's
on Alabama or Georgia. Can
you imagine
clear
Georgia
favorites? It's not even close.
Can you imagine Georgia the last 2 seasons with Shedeur Sanders instead of Carson Beck?
Yes.
Alabama. I mean, exactly. All of these schools. That's what people don't understand. You could put him on any one of the teams that's in the playoffs, and he would be the starter.
No doubt.
Nope.
And they would be better.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Will Howard, the last 2 games in the college football playoff against Tennessee and Oregon, over 300 yards passing. Can you guess how many other 300-yard passing games he had in the other 12 games?
What was this?
Will Howard, the last 2 games, over 300 yards passing. In the other 13 games, or other 12 games, how many other 300-yard passing games did he have?
1.
I was going to say 1 as well.
He had 1.
That's your boy, though.
Heater. Never leave a hot table.
Oh, man.
All right, let's go to questions.
2 biggest games of his career, 2 best games of his career. That's the guy I'm riding with.
Cardale Jones did it too. I guess he did win
And
the
they
national
won.
title.
They won.
Yeah, but
I hope Will Howard says we didn't come here to play school.
he needs to go to play school. All right, let's go to the chat.
Bro, what's crazy is that's the like iconic Cardell Jones quote.
Yeah.
It's not even the best one, dude. Because
The video game one?
Yeah.
That is classic.
He's like,
dog.
people got to stop saying that I went to the hospital and beat a kid that has like cancer or whatever, 100 to 0. It was 121 to 0.
I thought that was fake the first time I saw it, bro. I'm like, no way. That
I
is
thought
classic.
that "we ain't come to school" quote was fake when I first saw it too.
That's just,
goated.
yeah. I got to find the actual quote so I don't do him dirty.
Zy Chrysler is officially committed to Colorado. He made it official.
What are the message boards saying though?
Brother, I was just letting you know yesterday.
Cardell Jones video game tweet.
Who's first?
Bro, this is so unbelievable.
Do you have it?
I'm having to go through some shitty website to find it.
Jay's Mayhem. What's up, man? Says, which player do you think will earn the number 21 jersey? I say Preston Hodge if he wants it. That's a great call.
Antonio Branch.
I'll say I'd love to see Colton.
3, too cold of a number to give up. I couldn't
Bro.
imagine going from 3 to 21. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I know 21
Bruh.
21 is 21.
2 plus 1 is 3, though.
This man actually tweeted, "Man, I wish everyone would stop saying I beat a kid in the hospital 91 to 35. It was 98 to 35. I had 91 with a minute 30 left in the fourth."
Hey, that's so funny, dude.
I think I might frame that. I always print that out and frame it and put it on my wall in my office.
It's like he's pissed off. Like, man, y'all need to stop saying I only beat him by 60 plus. It was at least 70.
It's so good.
Who do you think gets 21 next year?
Nobody.
Nobody. Do you think we have a 2 or a 12 next year?
Nope. No 2, no 12, no 21.
Preston does already have the like Byron Whizzer White like patch and stuff.
He
So
does, yeah.
Isaac asks, "We'll see you expand the sidelines this offseason." I think we would have heard about that by now.
I hope so, though. That'd be
You have to take out a
That'd be
whole
dope.
row of seats.
Yeah, the hard thing would be, what are you going to do with those season ticket holders?
Yeah.
I think that's the only way you could really do it. Maybe you just move. I don't know.
You'd have to,
I'm
like,
not a structural engineer.
You have to like expand the stadium.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, what if you moved the the entire bleachers back a little bit and then like built up kind of like another row behind it?
Yeah.
But I don't think it's happening.
What's up, Reef? Is it safe to say y'all expect the Broncos to bend that Kona Sunday?
whoa.
Yes, Nick Benito especially.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Von Miller, by the way. That was sick, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Pretty wild. And he mentioned at the end of the interview, but like when Todd reached out to him, he was like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And then like a day later, he's like, F it, let's do it.
Hell yeah.
And
man.
then, I think we only expected to talk to him for like 10, 15 minutes.
I know.
We talked to him for 30 minutes.
That's awesome.
The GOAT, bro. Absolute GOAT.
Definitely will be rooting for them if the Broncos don't win. Sorry, Scotty.
It's all right.
Like, that's the weird thing. Like, if the Broncos lose, I'm going to be very sad. But then it'll take like 24 hours to realize, well, it's Vaughn. Like, I could just root for Vaughn now. Like,
Well, yeah, and everyone's like, for you and me, it's like, okay, they have the best chance of taking out the Chiefs, so that's
Yes,
another reason to root
yes.
for them. And then I'm pretty sure Von Miller would become the first player ever to win 3 Super Bowls with 3 different franchises.
which was an unbelievable accomplishment if
Yep.
you can do that.
Yep. But
Yup.
I hope he loses this week.
You think the Bills are the biggest threat to the Chiefs?
Or the Ravens.
Okay.
But
I hope the Broncos get them.
Get
the Chiefs? Hell yeah, brother.
Because we win, we play them, right?
Yep, guaranteed.
That'd be fun.
Give it to me. Shout out Von Miller, the GOAT. Is this a question? Awesome questions can lead to exciting episodes of conversations. Who's the next L or D? Great job. Go Buffs.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Ray. We'll save that for a show, though.
Yeah.
Absolutely. By the way,
that's,
have you guys listened to the whole song yet? The Jello song?
No.
Legitimately, I played it every single time I've gotten in the car, like the last 5 times.
That's crazy.
Bro, I've noticed that about you though, bro. When you find a song that you like, bro, you're gonna play the fuck out of that
Yeah.
song. Like
I've
back to back to back. Like,
I've actually mastered getting out of it before I get burnt out.
the smart, because that is definitely a byproduct of that for sure.
Yes.
I've noticed.
So
but-
I'll just like play it like for like 3 straight days. It's like all I listen to, and then I pull the reins back.
ball nowhere.
The shuffle button's my best friend and always will be.
I'm a shuffle guy too.
Shuffle all.
Shuffle all.
That's
Shuffle all.
Insane.
Why?
That just means your music not up there, bro. Your library not elite, bro.
You have to have certain songs and playlists for certain vibes.
But the feeling of going on shuffle and then like a 3-song heater comes on is like
Yes.
unmatched.
Bro, there's nothing better than the shuffle cooking. You're like,
Yes,
damn, the shuffle's
yes,
going crazy
dude.
right now. It's like 4
I
bangers in a
love
row.
it. Yeah.
But
I just
split.
go on 15 song heaters by making playlists.
Bro, there's room for both, bro. I'm a playlist guy. Like, I make a playlist like every month.
Yeah,
like,
Okay.
But yeah, there's sometimes where I just throw it on shuffle because like I want to kind of be surprised by like what I hear. Be like, damn, I almost forgot I had this in my library.
I'm also
This is
a
hard.
big album guy. Just hit play on the album, let it run.
I do too. Anytime an artist that I like drops a new album, I gotta listen to it twice, front to back, no interruptions.
So when a new that's an interesting question. When a new album drops, you listen from first song to last song, or do you
Has
just
to.
Yeah, of
throw it
course.
on shuffle?
No, I listen.
first-
I gotta hear
Hold
the way
on.
the artist intended.
Exactly. You're saying you shuffle the album?
Occasionally, I do, because a lot of artists. I'm speaking mostly for rap artists and hip hop artists. Like sometimes, like the best songs be like they throw it at the end. You know what I'm saying? Like they throw it at
Yeah.
the end of the tape. So it's like sometimes I just want to listen to
But it actually messes up my ability to hear new music because I'm like, I gotta find an hour where I
True.
can just listen
True.
to this album front to back.
Load up CFB and go into practice mode.
It's true. I hope that LiAngelo Ball just brought back like that style of rap.
That'd be dope, bro. I mean, I feel like it might, bro, because there's already been
Yes.
rappers like trying to like get on a remix, like
Yes.
and music is very like monkey see, monkey do, like a copycat world type
Yeah.
of thing. So I can definitely see that sound kind of taking off here.
I love that. That was the first thought I had when I played it. I was like, man, this reminds me of what like when I was a kid.
Put some respect on LeVar Ball's name, man. He told y'all
He really did.
that his kids was gonna be like that. That boy got 2 boys in the NBA. He got a rap star now.
Number one song.
Right.
Crazy.
Impressive. People just didn't like him.
Nope.
I mean, it's very similar to Coach Prime, just in a different,
Yes, bro.
different paths.
For sure.
Yes.
But yeah,
Like, why do you love your children so much? Yeah. That's really what people be
Did you
sounding
see
like.
the tweet yesterday? I was like, is Deion Sanders living vicariously through his kids or whatever? And it's like
The
quote,
the Hall of Famer, right?
the best corner of all time. Is that what you're
also
talking about?
batted over 300 in a World Series.
Right, yes.
The 2 sport athlete, the one who has a 30 for 30 named after him. That guy.
Yeah,
Rodney
Saint
asks-
Lunatics.
What do y'all think about running back Dominic Johnson?
Not familiar with, bro.
Neither am I. Apologies, Rodney.
Was that a Shaq? Apologies if I was not familiar with your game.
I'm not familiar with this game.
Through.
I don't even know.
I think the players do report this weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Trevor says, Jake, I'm happy you talking about GMA. Did you see the clip of yourself on the show? DNVR's blowing up. I didn't see the clip. I did see the still screenshot someone sent to us. So.
Yeah, so that was there, and then you turn on the Prime Doc, and like almost the exact same shot is in the Prime Doc. Of
Oh, really?
You talking to Shedeur at Media Day.
Interesting.
I'm up here with stars.
Shout out to GMA, though. That was lit. DJ Flame to you says, what's up, gents? F them Chiefs, he
Hell
says.
yeah.
F the Jayhawks. Been a minute since I caught a live. We got 2 feet of snow here in KC this past weekend.
Wow.
Each of you give me your craziest winter story. FDP equals MVP. Craziest winter story. Damn.
I almost just said something so out of pocket. Craziest winter story. I remember when I was a kid, we got like 5 feet, or at least I thought it was 5 feet when I was a kid. And like it was like taller than me on our door. Mm-hmm. And so then me and like some friends built tunnels like around, like snow tunnels like around the house.
That's wild.
So that was fun.
One time, this is in New Mexico. It doesn't snow a lot, but I was in high school and there was like a crazy cold front that came through, like literally shut down the city basically for like a week because it was so damn cold. It was like minus 15 or whatever. So we were just out of school for like an extra week coming out of winter break, which was lit. It's not really a crazy story, but that's about all I got.
This also isn't a crazy winter story specifically, but it just randomly made me think about like this past spring, I think. I was obviously living at my other spot, my previous spot in Denver, and I had never experienced a hailstorm like the one I did.
Oh.
Bro, I was sitting in my crib, and it just felt like somebody was throwing baseballs at the window, like at my crib. And I'm like, bro, what is that? And I go look at the window, and it's like, bro, literally like this size
Golf balls.
And I'm like, bro, I might have to go check my car. Like, I might lose like a window, bro.
Was your car okay?
It was. I still have dents kind of on the front
Hood.
Thank you, on the front hood. But I just had never experienced something like that before.
One time I was driving Neely back to Boulder from here, and we got caught in a hailstorm on the way back to Boulder.
Hailstorms are pretty wild.
They are.
That's like, yeah, it's a safety hazard for real.
Yeah, I live on the no flex, but I live on the top floor of my apartment complex.
Big baller.
And
Big
it is
baller.
so loud. Like,
Yeah, it's wild.
it is crazy. It sounds like you're, I don't know, like you're under attack.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
Karoom with the super chat. Complainers that Coach Prime should give direct answers should understand when he does. People don't listen. Absolutely true. Why not use the media when they love using you?
Good point.
Great points.
How many times has this man said I don't want to coach in the NFL?
I know. It's insane.
He has given the direct answer, and it doesn't even matter.
Facts.
So, yeah, exactly.
Brandon with the super chat. All the pressure's on the AD. They know they need to pay him and what he's worth. If you don't want to lose it, pay that money.
They will.
They will. Yes.
Bread.
You don't think Rick George knows that? I promise you he does.
Hiring Coach Prime is Rick George's legacy.
Yes.
He's not going to let that go away over, some dollars and cents.
And at the Alamo Bowl tailgate,
Right.
did you talk about it on the show?
Oh, man.
I think you did on the post game.
Post-game?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Rick George is up there talking. Someone yells, "Extend Prime." And he's like, "Yeah, extend Prime, extend Prime." I've heard that about 100 times since I've been here. We will. I think he said, "We are going to do that."
There you go.
There it is.
What's up, Girls Club? She asked, will DNVR be at the Super Bowl this year?
Better believe it.
Hell yeah. You ready, Scotty?
Hell yeah. Can't wait to get back to New Orleans.
I've never
Yeah.
been.
Really? Mm-hmm. Been once. It was a good time.
It's
Food so fire, dude.
It's so awesome. It's one of the most unique vibes in America, if not the most. It's a really special place. I can't wait to go back.
And shout out to the Girls Club. She be showing hella love, both on the lives, on social media.
Amen.
She's a real one.
She
Amen.
been diehards since day one, bro.
Yeah, I would
what's
say
up.
like probably in the comments of the first show we did.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, she's like, Girls Club is like number one of like, when I think of the viewers, like of the people who watch the show, that's like
Yeah.
the first name that comes to mind.
Hell yeah.
She's a real one.
Last one from East Coast Kev. My crazy winter story was turning on the TV last week and watching Oregon get...
That is crazy.
Bro said, what do you think of that story? We can't be cutting up.
I heard Alyssa laugh when she pulled it up. I was like, oh, this should be good.
Oh, man. It was a fun week of shows.
It was.
Hell yeah.
Also, if you want more shows with me on it, tomorrow we're doing a wild card preview show from down in the bar.
Nice.
It's a reimagination of an old show we had called The Tailgate, which was
Legendary.
essentially our way of tailgating during COVID when we couldn't tailgate. So we would just go on the stream and drink before the Broncos games.
Nice.
And some legendary content came out of that. So we're bringing that back. We're going to do the Hot Ones Challenge.
Yeah, I heard
live
that.
on the show.
That's what's up.
And then Sunday we're doing double length Broncos pregame show. I'll be on half of that, and Broncos postgame show.
And
Go
we're also
crazy.
doing a Broncos watch along during the playoff game that I'm going to be on too.
So when all is said and done, I
Grinders.
think this will be a 14 show week for me.
Damn. You're running it back to 2 years ago, bro.
Yep.
My boy working, not twerking.
Always.
This will be an 8-show week for me then, technically with the watch along.
All right.
I see you.
We're trying to pump those numbers up. But yeah, it was a fun week. We'll be back next week. We're going to dig into Caden Salter next week.
Sweet.
So stay tuned for that. Tune into the playoff stuff this weekend. Go Broncos. Let's go Buffs.
Broncos, go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.